subject today, plugged in. Most of the time when I have my phone, I never not just lay it down when I have it charged. I make sure I see that little lightning bolt. And that's what I have in mind. I don't know what you have in yours. I have to make sure I see that. Because, see, sometimes you can be plugged in. And in our home, we have surge protectors. And sometimes the switch on the surge protector is off. I've been in hotels where you turn the switch on to make the lights come on. So if the switch is off, that means that plug is off. And sometimes you just can't take for granted that you're plugged in. Because sometimes, even though you're plugged in, the power source is not on. I think all of us have experienced that sometime or another. And when these gadgets we have has become without me you can do nothing to. And it's nerve-wracking when they're not functioning. I don't know about you, but I need my instruments. I don't want to go too far without them. I want to make sure they're charged up and ready to go. Well, just to make it plain, nothing works unless it's plugged in. You got to be plugged in. When something is unplugged, plain and simple, it's not going to work. It doesn't do what it is intended to do because it has no power source. Am I making any sense? And so sometimes we need to really make sure that we are plugged in. Amen. Things are not going to do what they intended to do if they're not plugged in. You got to make sure that you're plugged in. You got to check it for yourself. You can't rely on somebody to plug my phone up for me because they become careless and not plug it in or half plug it in because you need it more than they do. Are you listening to me? And sometimes people's hopes and dreams fade away because they're not connected to their dreams and their hopes in life. And sometimes people lose purpose and lose meaning in life because they refuse to be connected. They refuse to be plugged in to their destiny. And I'm trying to tell you how valuable it is to be plugged in. Sometimes you need to check and make sure that you're plugged in. But I found out that if you stay plugged in to the right source. Ask your neighbor, say, neighbor, are you plugged in? Are you ready? Make sure that you have the right power resource. I'm ready to close my message. Jesus said, I am the true vine. And my Father is the husband. Every branch in me that bears fruit, he take it away. So if you're really not productive, what folk need you for? Are y'all going to pray with me? I just believe you ought to learn something other than your job. You ought to become a valuable resource to the church. Or you ought to become a valuable resource to wherever you work at. I think every now and then you ought to look for promotion. I think you ought to ask somebody, are there any openings there? I want to train to be the manager. I want to train to be the head of the French fry department. Y'all ain't going to help me preach it. But you got to learn how to be plugged in.